Cow dung compost is one of the best and most useful organic fertilizers, but using it in a wrong way can kill your plants overnight. That's why in this video we will learn all about cow dung compost, its benefits, do and don'ts, and how you can use it for plants. All of that in this video, so keep watching and don't forget to subscribe. Cow dung compost is the composted form of cow dung waste that contains some very useful nutrients. All plants like these nutrients, and that's why cow dung is so much famous and useful. Using cow dung compost for plants can provide us number of benefits. Let me tell you that shortly. The most useful thing about cow dung compost is that it have nitrogen, which promotes a lot of green growth on the plant. Cow dung also contains some other essential nutrients listed on the screen. The another benefit of cow dung compost is that its regular use can make up the immune system of the plant, and minor problems and shock wouldn't affect the plant so much badly. Using cow dung compost regularly can also improve the quality of your soil mix, means it makes the soil porous, softer, well draining and fertile. So that's a very useful thing. Soil plays a big role in the healthy growth of any plant, so you must provide a good soil mix to your plants. A video is linked in the description box that will tell you all about making a good soil mix. Must check that out. Another benefit of cow dung compost is that it promotes the growth of beneficial microbes in the soil, which ultimately enhances root growth. The another thing about cow dung compost is that it's purely organic and natural, that is very useful especially for vegetable plants. Cow dung compost also contains hundreds of trace elements that are required in smaller amounts but plays a crucial role in the healthy growth of a plant. No matter your plant's leaves have black patches, yellowing leaves or wilting appearance, all of them are caused by the shortage of an element, and cow dung can help you solve that issue very efficiently. Now let's know how we can use cow dung compost on our plants. The first method is very simple. All you have to do is just lose the upper layer of soil and let it dry before fertilizing. Then take a dose of cow dung compost. Remember, I am talking about cow dung compost, not cow dung. You can also buy it from the video description. Add it over the soil surface. Dose basically depends on plant age and the size of your container. For a 5 to 8 inches pot, you can use up to 5 to 8 tablespoons. For a bigger pot, increase the amount respectively. Frequent watering after adding cow dung compost is also very important for proper absorption, so do a deep watering. If your plant is a younger plant, try to use a lesser dose and don't add it near the trunk. This way you can fertilize your plants with cow dung compost every 2 weeks within the growing season. The another way to use cow dung compost for plants is very useful because it works very quickly. I am talking about making its compost tea. You can either use dried cow dung cakes or you can also use its compost. Both are okay. Just take a liter of plain water in a container like this, add around 1/4 part of cow dung cake, which is around of this much. You can also use a small piece of jaggery into this, it will speed up the fermentation process. For using the cow dung compost, you can do the same, just use around 100 grams of the compost for a liter of water. Mix them well with the water. After that, you can place both of these containers in a warm and shaded area. After around 3 to 5 days, the liquid will turn its color brownish and now we can use it for our plants. But first we have to dilute it with more water. This concentrated cow dung compost tea have all the essential nutrients, but it can burn the plant, so mix 10 parts of water with 1 part of this liquid. After that, now we can use this diluted cow dung compost tea for our plants. Lose the upper layer of soil and make sure it's dry. Add around a glass of this cow dung compost tea fertilizer in every 6 to 8 inches of pot. For a bigger pot, you can increase the amount respectively. This way you can use this liquid fertilizer every 10 days within the growing season. We can use cow dung compost and its liquid fertilizer on almost all type of plants, but they works better for the leafy plants, for example indoor foliage plants or the leafy vegetables, etc. You can also use them for the younger plants because at this stage they need nitrogen and a leafy growth. Using cow dung compost and its liquid fertilizer for flowering plants is not a good choice. For them you can use another fertilizer. A video on that is linked in the description box. There are some important do and don'ts of cow dung compost that you must consider before using it on any of your plants. Otherwise it can cause serious damage to the plant. First thing is that it's a nitrogen-rich fertilizer, best for leafy plants, but for flowering plants it's not a good choice. Using cow dung compost for a long time on a plant is not good also because all plants have to produce roots so they can take nutrients in, and cow dung is not a good option to use. Here you can use rock phosphate that is best for root growth. A video is linked in the description box to show you how to use rock phosphate. Another thing about cow dung is that it shouldn't be used on a stressed plant like a recently reported plant or the plant you just have brought from nursery or the plant having a pest attack. Fresh cow dung is very high in nitrogen and shouldn't be used on plants also. In the hot summer days, you should use cow dung compost on your plants in limits. So it's all about cow dung compost. If you are dealing with any kind of leaf problems, you can use Compost Tea Fertilizer. Here is the video to make a liquid fertilizer using compost and solve that issue. If you need an advice for your plants, WhatsApp link is in the description box. It costs just $5.